What's up? Welcome back to another video. Today we're making a hyperpop beat in GarageBand. So I got this idea from this comment from ILYXH. Thank you for the idea. We're making a beat in the people's DAW, GarageBand. So I made this beat off camera so I wouldn't be spending a bunch of time learning how to use the DAW. And instead I can just explain the different tracks that I'm using. Originally my plan was to say something like limitations breed creativity, but to be honest, there's not that many limitations in GarageBand. It's pretty good as it is. So in the name of the game, the spirit of the game, I wasn't going to be using my own plugins. I wasn't going to be using my samples or anything. I was only going to use stuff that was free because that's the whole idea of this. So any sounds that I use in this are either in GarageBand or they're free online, and I'll link to them in the description. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it right now, go through the entire thing, and then I'll play it again. To start off, I'm going to go over the kick. It's just a normal kick, but I'm using it in a sampler right now. To get to this sampler, add a track, go to software instrument, create, and then you go down here under plugins where it says ePiano, and you click this and you go to AU sampler, which is Apple AU sampler, and you want stereo. So after that, you're going to go over here, click on this, click a new one, drag your kick in. Let's do this one, press OK. Go up to where it says sign. Maybe you have to click off of it and click back on, press the minus, and then you should press Command K and you can get this open. Then you can route MIDI into it rather than just copying and pasting the same sample. And I found that's a lot easier to route a bunch of MIDI and then, just loop it like this. All right, it's me from the future. Once you make this channel once, you can go Command D to duplicate it. So you don't have to create a new sampler like this every single time you make it. That should save you a bunch of time. I hope that helps. So that's how you do the sampler. I use that for most of the drums. This sample is the San Holo Kick 3. All right, and then we've got the snare. San Holo Snare 1, and we've got hi-hats. The hi-hat is the S1 closed hi-hat. So I ran into one of the limitations of GarageBand when I was making the hi-hat MIDI, and it is that you can't really shrink the grid size past a certain point. So I just had to go like this and kind of guess the middle, and it doesn't really matter if it's perfect because it goes by so quick. So it's basically just this section looped over and over again. Next was the 808, and I used the San Holo 808-1, I think. Yeah, I used the 808-1. If you're adding any tuned samples to your sampler, make sure right here you put in the right root key or else it's going to be off key. Right here we got the 808. Right here, you can kind of see the theme for the song. It's a short, long, long, short, long, long. Now we're getting to some melodic stuff. The first melodic thing I have in here was something called crackling lead. You can find that if you press Y, open up the library, or just click over here, go lead, crackling lead. Oh yeah, and I'm changing the grid size by holding Shift and Option and scrolling. All right. I was just treating this as small accent notes going into or out of a bar. Next, we have something called massive saws. And over on the left, you can see where it is in the library. I may have changed some settings when I was working on this. So here's my settings. And then here is the MIDI. It's just like a repetitive ARP. Next, we have a vocal shot. I just threw that in the sampler, and that is the San Holo Vocal Shot 1. Right here is some effects. So this one was in the loops, and it's called Abstract Atmosphere. And it's a nice fill into the chorus. Next, we have just some vocal chatter. This is also Apple loop. Next is just a small background sound. and it's called pulsating waves. If you watch any of my other videos, you'll know that I like to do pitch bend on at least one thing in a song, and this one is this. So to get to this little automation thing, I just press A, and then you scroll to pitch bend, which is right here. Next is hammered wood. So it's normally supposed to sound like this, but right here I'm playing up so high it just sounds completely different. Oh, I added a sample delay. It's just a nice little audio trick that makes it sound like it's coming from the left because it's taking so long to get to the right ear. Here's without, and then with. It's just a small, subtle thing. All right, next is an important part of the song, the chords. This is using Dream Dancer synth. And here's what the MIDI looks like for that. It starts up high using the same idea of short, long, long, short, long, long. If you want to know the chords, F minor 7, C minor 7, D flat major 7, and then E flat, A flat. So yeah, it starts up high and then it goes down an octave, and at the end it goes into plucks rather than sustained notes. And on that I've just put a little bit of distortion. So here's what that sounds like. All right, now we've got some stuff that really makes it sound hyperpop. This is a chiptune lead, and it is here in the library. Something that's interesting about this is I recorded it on the keyboard, this keyboard, and I didn't quantize every single note. So you'll see the first line is actually off, the entire thing is off, but then some notes like the downbeats, for example, I made sure were lined up. So it's just to make it sound a little bit humanized by just pushing it off the grid a little bit. Now we've got a sound effect called Body Fall Through Glass. This is an Apple sound effect. We've got a sword impact. Next, we've got like a little transition effect. Here's what that sounds like. And what's making it sound kind of sweeping up is just automating the volume, pressing A to get to that. So it starts off quiet and ends up louder. And that's also an Apple loop. And another Apple loop in here, and it's just a small section of it that I wanted to cut into there. It's called White Light Sample. Next is a solo bass hit. It's called Hard Tech Bass. And then we've got like a synth bass in the intro. And in the last track, I wanted to add a background synth that takes up some space in the verse section, so it sounds a little bit different. And for the master track, I only have some limiter and compression. Okay, while I'm at it, I might as well go over some of my thoughts for the arrangement of this. So for example, right here, what is all of this going on over here? I didn't want to just loop the same section over and over again. I wanted to change it up every few bars. So here we have a big empty space, just to leave a lot of space for a vocal on there. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. If you want to see me make another GarageBand video like this, let me know in the comments, and I'll probably do another one if you want me to. I'm gonna go ahead and play the beat again, but a little bit different. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. We're pretty close to 300 subscribers on the channel. That's amazing, that's crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and play the beat right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.